Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Us. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Yo!
Whoa.
What's up, guys?
golly.
My name is Seth Studley. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, we don't mess around with the BS that all the other marriage podcasts do for you.
That's right.
We give real help for real couples. Again, I'm a licensed therapist. We went through some shit and we got out of it, and we want to help you do the same with grit, determination, growth mindset, shared vision, and some kick-ass advice. So, thank you so
exactly
much.
right.
This month is April is for fools. That's right. We're talking about the fools that cheat on their spouses.
And today we are on episode number 3 in our series, and it is called My Husband Cheated, but what? It's called My Husband Cheated, but I want to make it work. What do I do?
All right. So let's dive into this question. Thank you so much. But first of all, this show is brought to you by the good folks over at betterhelp.com/us. I'm a licensed therapist, as I said earlier. And if you need counseling, if you've been carrying around some stuff for too long, you hadn't gotten any help for it, go to betterhelp.com/us to get hooked up with your own licensed marriage and family therapist, your own licensed personal counselor to deal with anxiety, depression. A lot of people are going to betterhelp.com/us, and they are getting the help that they need, and they're feeling better for it, right? We all want to feel better in this life. I want to make more money. I want to have more sex. I want to be happier. I want a better relationship with myself, my family, my kids, my outlook on life. And you can't do it if you're carrying around stuff that you haven't processed. So go to betterhelp.com/us to get the help you need today. Set yourself free. It's springtime, y'all. It's a new thing. Go to betterhelp.com/us to start a new season in your life and get the help that you truly, truly deserve. betterhelp.com/us. All right, guys, we love you. Go there. Read the question, lady.
Okay. My husband cheated, but I want to make it work. What do I do? Okay, I'm going to try to read this the best I can. I discovered my husband's infidelity 8 months ago. At the time, we had decided to move back home from overseas to be closer to our family and get out children's education. And go out. I don't know what that is. I'm going to change details. 3 amazing girls. And I did this 12-hour journey on my own with my girls with the confidence that my husband would be joining us a few weeks later as he was tied up some loose ends with work. 2 weeks after arriving home, I discovered that he was having an affair. I had already had doubts about this lady, which I had spoken to him about, but he held my face, looked at me in the eyes, and said, I can guarantee you there is nothing going on. And I took his word for it. I trusted, in all caps, that what he had told me was the truth. We had been having a few issues prior to the affair. However, 4 months before I discovered, I felt we'd really turned a corner. Our communication had improved. Our connection had improved. We were excited about making future plans as we'd made a joint decision to return home, and I thought we were back on track. I made this decision to try to salvage our marriage, as somewhere in my heart, I do still love my husband, and without him, my life wouldn't make any sense, but I'm really struggling to heal. So any guidance or advice would be hugely appreciated.
Let me look at that. Okay, keep on going.
Oh. That's the question. That's the whole thing. So, man, the last thing, and you've heard us talk about this, the very last thing at the end, it says, I love my husband, and without him, my life wouldn't make sense. I just want to start there.
Okay. Maybe your current life wouldn't make sense. Like if you weren't here, like our house, the podcast recording stuff, the van, the kitchen, the kids, none of that stuff would make sense because we have set it up to where you are obviously an integral part of that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't here, like the skateboards and the mountain bikes and the snowboarding and the truck and the rifles and all that stuff, that wouldn't make sense.
The glittery crotchless underwear that you wear. What are you going to do? The volume's down anyway. There's nothing on that. Oh, record scratch.
It's a record scratch when it's late.
It sounds like a car.
Yes, the glittery underwear. It wouldn't make sense.
I'm just joking. He
right?
doesn't have
so
glittery underwear.
I don't want it. I don't want you to, because sometimes we think, hold up, hold the phone. No, you are everything with or without a man or a woman in your life. They're differentiated, right?
Right.
So I don't want to like all the stuff that we built wouldn't make sense if one of us weren't here.
Well,
maybe she's saying that.
Maybe, but even then, it would make sense. You still would have children.
Eventually, it would make sense.
I mean, if we got divorced or I died, like you'd still need mountain bike for the kids. They'd still want a garage, and you'd still want, you'd still want the sewing machine I have. Hattie would want it. Maybe Tuff would want it. He's a fashion designer. You know what I mean?
Or my new wife. I love it when I crack my own self up.
I really love it when you crack your own self up. You could say the meanest joke, but as long as you laugh really hard at it, I'm fine.
Really?
Kinda, yeah.
All right. Okay.
But anyway.
Note to self.
What were we saying? So, but like I'm saying, it says without him, my life wouldn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to start there because I think it's really important to make sure that that's not really what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
Like that without Seth, and I used to think this, like, how can I live without Seth? Oh, let me think. You just freaking live. Like life goes on.
What did you do the 18 years prior to you meeting me?
I know. Yeah. Oh, I lived those years. So
not as good.
that's I don't know. For me, that is actually a really important point that I think is worth looking at and reassessing and reevaluating. And it says you have 3 beautiful girls. And man, do you want to teach those 3 beautiful girls that, hey, kiddos, your husband can treat you like shit. He can do whatever. He's just going to be your world. You just do whatever, move across the country, do what you need, do everything. Just be stronger. Like, it's okay. Like, no, you don't want to teach that to your daughters. Then don't model it. Right.
Right. So, but the main question, my husband cheated, but I want to make it work. What do I do? Hopefully in there, and I didn't see in this question at all, is, and he admitted to this and he apologized. He's been crying. He's on his knees. He's trying to do anything and everything that he can to repair this. Hopefully that is the case. Hopefully it is the case. And I know that like April is cheating month, basically. It's for fools, right? Because it is a foolish thing to do, to cheat. So I don't want to be like too like super downer, like, oh yeah, this is just kind of sucky, now I'm depressed show. But I want to give hope in this. And hope is a two-way street. I can hope, in all the world that you don't cheat, right? But you did. Okay, so now I can also hope that you want to repair things, right? So it's much more easier if the other person who did the thing is willing to not grovel or anything like that, but really be repentant, and not in the religious way, but just be like, oh my gosh, I really, really messed this up. I have no one to blame but the person in the mirror right now. It is me. I take full ownership of this. I did this. If you will have me back, then I will try anything and everything to repair this, because what we have, our relationship, our X amount of years together, the things that we have built, the things that we are wanting to build, our children and our future are worth clearly much more than, they're worth more than what I did, kind of thing, right? So I take full ownership that I feel shame because it is a shameful thing to do. I feel guilty because the blood is on my hands or whatnot. And I will do what I can to repair that. If it is therapy, not if, because the worst thing is like somebody doing something stupid and then them saying, okay, well, just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Tell me, well, should I go to therapy? Hell yeah, you should. Right? Oh, well, should I make changes in my schedule and this and this and this? Yes, if you want to repair it, then do it. Oh, but it's so hard, it'll put me out. Well, no shit. That's what it takes, right? Like, I mean, we've done that. Hey, this thing isn't serving us anymore. Like this dumb thing that you were doing or I was doing.
We used to spend our date nights going to therapy when we had little kids, and like my mom would babysit the kids.
Nothing was fun.
It sucked, but it was absolutely worth it, and it was transformative. And if we hadn't have done it, we would have definitely gotten a divorce or just been like miserably married.
Right.
And probably cheated on each other.
So,
because of that
probably.
Sparkly bathing suit you got.
So now I'm wearing the sparkly bathing suit.
Yeah, now
like
it's a bathing suit. It's not underwear, it's a bathing suit.
Oh my god.
And you wear it places.
No.
It's rhinestone. It's like the guy.
Or it's like the singing cowboy in New York City.
Oh yeah.
Didn't you see him when you went there one time?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
So.
But anyway, if, and I don't know, so I'm not going to assume anything from the email. Hopefully your husband is doing these things. It's like, yes, I effed this up. I lied. I did this, and I did this. I am so sorry. I about said it in a Canadian accent.
Sorry.
Thanks, Stephen.
I'm sorry, Anne.
I'm sorry. Oh, you went Anne of Green Gables,
Yeah,
huh?
I did.
Okay.
Sorry, Anne.
To repair it, it's like I was at work one time. This is when I had a full-time job, and someone made a mistake, and it was a $50,000 or $60,000 mistake kind of thing, and that person owned every part of it and did what they could to make it up. And it wasn't like, oh, great, now I owe,
Right.
whatever, $60K or whatever. But really said, oh my gosh, I can't believe I made this mistake. Oh no, oh no, oh no, and all this stuff. And did everything and anything and everything in their power to make it up. And guess what? They kept their job. There was no weirdness or anything. There was like, yes, this person clearly knows that they messed up. Let's help and repair. Like that is what, if you want to come out on the other side of this, you have to own all that stuff. You can't go, well, I made that $60K mistake because the systems we have are just ridiculous.
Right.
Or this. It's like, you can't blame, the only fingers you can point is you, right? Point to you and your actions or inactions on that stuff. So,
So I wrote down a bunch of different things while you were chatting
Okay.
that I think are going to be helpful.
kick it.
So it says, basically, I want to make it work. What do I do? The 4 things that I wrote down, I think are the things that people tend to think aren't as important as they are. But if you can do these 4 things, they will absolutely transform your journey and can turn this mess into something positive and productive and good and heal you, right? So the very first one is therapy. Go to therapy as a couple, individually, both, all of it. Do all the therapy that you can. We work with BetterHelp.com. So we have a thing, BetterHelp.com/us. You can get a therapist there. You can go to, when you go to BetterHelp.com/us, they have a test, like an online quiz, which is really, really rad. And so they ask you, like, why are you seeking therapy? They have all these suggested things. So if this is you, you say, infidelity, right? You need to heal from infidelity. So you can do that. Go to BetterHelp.com/us. But seriously, therapy is the very first place that you would start if you're trying to work through this. You can't do this without some type of therapy because there's a lot that has to heal. So we use that. People ask us, what's the difference between coaching and therapy? Therapy is where you go to heal. So let's imagine I'm going to physical therapy because I broke my ankle, broke Roselle. And so I broke my ankle and I say, okay, I got to heal my ankle. I have to go to physical therapy to heal it. I don't go to physical therapy to try to run a marathon. I go there to heal. So you go to therapy, talk therapy, whatever kind of therapy, to heal. So number 1 is therapy. Number 2 is your husband, the person who cheated. I mean, in this case, it's your husband. He should join a group like the Men's Mastermind. So the Badass Husbands Mastermind is a perfect example. You can go to badasshusband.com. And now, if someone's like, these fools are just trying to sell me their products. You bet your ass I'm trying to sell you my products. My products will save your freaking marriage. Get over yourself. Like,
Word.
if you had a flat tire, would you get pissed if I was the tire salesman trying to sell you a new tire? What is that place?
Hey, I see you got a flat tire there, buddy. I have a shop right here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I'm
How
just
dare
saying.
you.
But see right there, like see the giant garage with the
Oh, I
you
love
hear
that sound.
That's my shop there. So if you want to go there, you can. What? You're trying to sell me stuff, man.
What an opportunist.
Okay. Drive 5 miles down the road
Have fun
with
walking.
a flat tire to get your own stuff.
Right.
Peace out.
It just makes me mad when people
Right.
get like that. But anyway, for this dude, like I said, the second thing is the guy has to join some sort of group where there's accountability. Like the Men's Mastermind, let me say, what would happen if he popped into one of your group calls?
I would love it if a guy said, listen, dudes, I'm here to get my ass kicked because I cheated and I did a lot of wrong stuff. And my wife has her own stuff too. I get it, but I'm the one that did it. So let's go. I'd be like, bro, you are the perfect person to be in a group like this.
What do you think some of your dudes would say to somebody like this?
Hey man, tell me about it. What's going on? Where are your blind spots? What were some of the reasons? Well, my wife is a bitch and we hadn't had sex in 3 years and it was there. I'd be like, I get it.
Mm-hmm. What if it was nothing? My wife is really a good woman and I'm just an idiot. What would they say then?
I'd say, all right, man, let's get to work. Tell me.
What kind of work would you do?
Family of origin stuff, accountability stuff, shared vision stuff, goals stuff. Like, hey man, you're kind of going sideways right here. Let me or the other guys, it's
Or
just
us.
not me.
Mhm.
It's let the other men in the group, the other 8 dudes, whoever's whatever cohort you're in, because we have several, speak into that.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Mhm.
And that's how it would go down.
Right. And so again, this is like how you're asking, what do we do? How do we make this work? Your husband who has cheated has to get into a group where he is accountable to other dudes who will kick his ass. Because we talked about this on our last episode. Typically people who cheat get into this weird position of wanting to blame their spouse. Like they want to act like a victim. It's the smearing the shit on the birthday cake or the wedding cake analogy we used last time.
Earlier episode. Yeah.
So it's like that. And you have to get into a group where men are going to hold you accountable. And they're going to be like, hey, dude, no, that actually, it's not your wife's fault that you went online and found this woman. It is not her fault. It's your, I don't know, lack of boundaries, lack of any, like, I don't know, what's the word other than boundaries? Like having a plan for your life, lack of a vision, lack for accountability, whatever.
And it's also getting real with yourself. And for some reason, I don't know why I thought of this, but you remember a while back, and I think the guy's name was Ted Haggard. He was like a pastor in the church, and there was this, I don't know, this scandal going on. And he like didn't like gay people, all this stuff. But then he got caught having gay sex in a bathroom at the like Denver airport or something.
Wasn't he like doing drugs too?
Yeah, I think he was like doing meth too. It's like, okay, what? Wait, hold on.
Right.
Hold the big time phone, right? So
hold the Jesus on the main line.
Jesus not on the main line, apparently.
Satan on the main line.
Dude on the main line. Dude's butt was on the main line.
Okay. That was funny.
But anyway, I thought of that because he was solely responsible for his actions there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I just tripped and fell into meth in a dude's butt. Oh, sorry.
Like
sorry, this wasn't my fault. I don't know what happened.
Right.
It's like, how did that get there?
And
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to have some kind of accountability. And if you don't surround yourself with people who will actually be like, you're doing this, you say you want that, there is a huge gap right here between what you're doing and what you say you want.
Right.
Right? So we have to bring that gap closer together and like shed some light on all that stuff. But if you don't want it, you don't want it.
Right. You got to have someone in your life who will say, kick his ass, Seabass.
Yeah. What? Who's the dead man?
Anyone over 40 will get that. Anyone under 20 won't.
Yes.
So
what about the 20 to 40? Anyway,
I don't know. The 30-year-olds
Sorry.
don't know anything. So the third one on my thing is, again, how do we work through this and get past it and whatever? For the lady, join a group. For the wife who wrote in, join a group. You could join the women's mastermind. Again, one thing I am pitching our stuff because that's why we made this stuff. So if you are mad about this, go shove it up your butt.
Does an author not promote their book?
I know, right? It doesn't matter. But anyway, so for example, in the women's group coaching, we have women who are walking through similar things and they're sharing their story and their journey without criticism, without judgment, without anger or blame or any of those things. They're walking through and they're healing together. And you could, so for the wife, you could also just do therapy or something like that. But again, it's not the same vibe. Your therapist isn't going to be like, oh my gosh, I went through the same thing too. And here's what I did. They're not going to do that. They're actually not, I think they're not allowed to do that, are they?
Well, it's changing a little bit. But when I was in grad school, it's like, you don't share your story, your own narrative. But I was like, that does not work. There's so much power in solidarity and sharing your story. And there's a very fine line. But yeah, when you're in a group of other women who are peers, it's not a therapist-client relationship. So there's all kinds of different dynamics. You're with ladies who also want to be there, who have knowledge and want to gain knowledge. And then there's this force. It's like the mastermind concept. When 2 or more people come together, focused with their highest brain cell power.
It's like if you've ever seen Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. The aliens, the 12 aliens, and they're sitting in a circle.
Here we go.
And all of a sudden, the UFO starts to spin, and then they go together, and the German lady goes, I want to know.
What do you mean you want to know?
Jones.
You mean the power of that?
It's the hive mind. She wants to know all that they know.
The hive mind.
The hive mind. The hive mind. They're communicating. I want to know. Apparently, she became like Giuseppe from Pinocchio or something. But it is like you have the wisdom of not only different women who have gone through different journeys, but different ages and stages of life. We have women in the group who have children that are my age, which I think is so cool. I love the wisdom of older ladies. And so if you're an older lady and you want to join our group, do it, because you bring wisdom that young chicks can't find anywhere else.
There's so much power in story.
Yes, absolutely. Man. And so for this woman who wrote in, what do? Join a group for your own sanity. Join a group where you can say, I cannot believe he did this to me twice, but I still love him. And then the women go, yeah, I get it. Been there. I get it. And here's what you do. And here's what you don't do. And here's what worked for us. And here's what didn't work for us. Like, the power of just that alone is priceless. So go to anatomyofus.com. Hit the women's group coaching thing. You're going to love it. You're going to love the way you look. When
I hear other people's stories, and that's why I really loved having a coach, and I'm still in contact with our coach.
Our coach is rad.
Yeah, he's rad. When he tells me like the ways that he did stuff, or questions or doubts or things or wins and victories and stuff, that makes me go, oh, it is possible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like it does.
Seeing the before and after pictures of our coach, it makes me go, anything is possible. Remember the pictures of what he looked like before?
Yeah. Like, so obviously anything is possible. And the point of that is sharing your story is what we call in therapy, normalizes. It normalizes this. Oh, you went through this too? Mm-hmm. I'm not alone. I'm not thinking, the thing that I'm thinking right now that I think no one else on earth has ever had the thought, you had that thought too? Mm-hmm. Wow, mm-hmm. That's powerful. That is helpful. Right. That is reassuring that I'm not bonkers and that I'm not crazy for hurting the way that I do, but still loving the other person. Right. Okay, I'm not losing my marbles.
Your marbles. I'm going to add a little side note onto that. So I'm going to talk about, and I actually encourage you to do some of the same things for the men's group topics that you've talked about. Now, we're not obviously going to share who has said what, but in our women's
get in the group to know about.
Well, in our women's group, here are some of the things we've covered and some of the things that we can cover. Some of our journey, right? So I was being domestically violent to Seth. So it was atypical domestic violence. That is something that in our group, we can talk about how to walk through that. There have been women who were in abusive relationships who had literally to run away. They've had to figure out how to navigate that, who to talk to, how do you pack when you think someone's going to follow you? What do you do when someone stalks you? Oh, what do you do when someone stalks your child, right? These are things that we talked about in our group. Let's see, here's a few other of them. What do you do if you have severe food allergies in your children and everything that you make for them makes them sick? And what trauma does that bring around? Simple things like making a meal. Let's see, what other things are in the group? There's divorce, postpartum depression, anxiety, wanting to quit a job, not feeling like you have any guidance in life, not feeling like you have a purpose in life. Man, that isn't even touching the surface of all the things.
Some of the stuff in the men's group is hey, I'm in a job that I don't like, but I am a kick-ass husband and kick-ass dad. Help me find a new job. Help me brainstorm. Help me find my zone of genius so I can be happy while providing a kick-ass income kind of thing. And we walk through those things.
Another one too, another one that came to my mind is, moms with young daughters. How do I manage social media and the fact that my kid is 9 and wants to wear fishnets like her character in Roblox? How do I navigate that? What do I do?
Our kid?
No, yeah. But things like that where what another example do you have? I think that this is really powerful of the things that we talk about, and it's so limitless.
Having encouragement, this is the thing that I talk about often. There's a group who is doing 75 hard, and I started with them, but I
messed up.
Yeah, I missed my selfie. And that's a part of 75 hard. But I'm restarting on April 2nd when I get back from Alaska. The encouragement and accountability on that. And also a big part of the guys group, and I don't know if you do this exactly in the wins group, but every single call, we share our wins.
Yes.
We share our wins. And oftentimes, I don't know why we're talking about this. This is supposed to be about cheating and stuff like that.
No, this is how you get over it. This is what do I do to get over it?
Okay, so we share our wins. And oftentimes it's like, oh, well, I don't want to brag. I don't want to talk about this. No, hell yeah. If you just close a $500,000 client that you've been working on for 2 years, that is not bragging. That is saying, I kicked ass. I did this. I was persistent, and I want to share it with you guys. Or here's another win. We had sex last night. Stuff like that, right? I mean, as simple as that. Hey, that is a win. Hey, I wanted to be sober for 7 days. Today's my 5th day. Hell yeah, dude. You set a goal. You're doing it, right? How do we build self-confidence and self-esteem? We keep the promises we make to ourself. Period. Keep the promises you make to ourselves.
You didn't keep the promise you made to your selfie.
Oh, rim shot. Laugh track there. That was pretty good. Right? But that is just the part of the power of the mastermind groups that we are talking about, because you're the sum of the 5 people you hang with the most. So who do I want to hang out with? Other badass husbands who are striving to do stuff, not just talk about it. Not like, oh yeah, that I should read that book, or like, yeah, I don't know, 75 hard. This seems really crazy.
That seems tricky.
No, I want to be around guys who are actually effing doing it, right? And if there's guys that have cheated or stuff like that, it's like, yeah, I really messed up. Okay, we all mess up, sure. But you're not on that path anymore. You're on the path to repair and accountability and encouragement and ass kicking.
Like we talked about in the last episode, like if you're the dude who's smeared your shit hand all over the wedding cake and now you're in the men's mastermind, you're doing what Seth said. You're making the cake better. You're starting all over. You're fixing it.
Right.
You're repairing the damage that you caused at the wedding by smearing your crap hand everywhere, right? Like the men in the group are showing up and showing out. And same with the women in the group. Like, I love that you mentioned the wins every single week, because I think it's a really exciting,
it's so important.
It's so exciting. Yeah. We do it every week too. We start our call with wins.
If you think it's a win, then there's no way in the world that you shouldn't share it with people. And if the people that you're hanging around go, oh, he's just bragging, or oh, he's hot shit, or look at this, then you might be hanging around the wrong people.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing, right? Because I swear, if I get a new client, or, the mastermind, well, all these things are happening, right? When we get a new client, when we create a new mastermind, I share it with the mastermind I'm in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Guys, closed 2 clients this week. Awesome. And you know what they say? Good job. Oh man, tell me about how'd you do it? Because I'm trying to build the same thing. Well, I had success here and had, not success here. But overall, yeah, we're doing it, man.
Right.
Like there's another guy that's closing clients left and right all the time. And he has oftentimes the same win. He's like, guys, I don't know what to say. I closed 3 clients this week. They were like 10K.
That's amazing.
And he's just going, and we're like, dude, you are rocking it. That is so awesome. And now his win for that in that category is like, it's still a win, but we're just used to it.
Right.
So, okay, that means we've leveled up. So now, 3 clients a week was the biggest win ever. But since it's been happening for a month or 2 or 3, it's still a win, but now it's like, oh, next level. Hey, now I'm closing even higher ticket people,
right?
Or whatever, So it's like you level up and level up and level up, and that is how you grow. You have to surround yourself with other people who are where you want to be, or who have been where you are right now, and encourage you, kick your ass, and keep you accountable.
Right, and I love that too. I want to just make a comment on that some of the wins in the group, and they're just as monumentous for your growth as a person and in your marriage. Some of the wins are like, my husband and I started to fight, and we actually used the clearing structure that you guys sent us, and it worked, and we didn't fight.
Right.
And you're like, yes. And everybody knows, like, that's the first step to repairing your marriage and to making it stronger and having more communication and clarity. And so it's just really awesome. And I do think it's really important. And this goes into number 4 in my list of what to do. But one of the things that is so challenging in any life situation is that we often don't have the people in our, like the community that we were born into. So like our family, in-law, all that stuff, like where we live, all that stuff. Sometimes it doesn't have these really, what would you say? Like highly supportive people. It's just not there. And it's not because they're not great people. It's just that they're not on the journey of like growth. Most people are not on the journey of intense growth and trying to like level up. But everyone in the women's group coaching stuff and in the men's mastermind is. And so you would have a community in these groups that you could never find, even if it's a church group. There's caps on most people's, like they have a governor on,
Right.
like they're not going to go over a certain speed limit. And so they're not going to hit the growth that you're actually after. And that's really important. And so on number 4 on here of what to do, again, number 1 was go to therapy. Number 2 was men's mastermind. Number 3 was women's group coaching. And number 4 is tell people in your social network. And I don't mean like post it on Facebook, but tell people that you trust that this is going on in your marriage. Now, why would I say that? Does that seem wrong to say?
No.
Okay. Why does it not seem wrong to say? Because initially people are going to be like, I'm not telling anybody that my husband cheated on me twice.
So here's another thing that happens in the mastermind. If I don't know the specifics of a brother's everything, issues, then how can I help?
If you don't know how he's struggling.
If I don't know how, or not even struggling, or just like, hey, where do I want to grow here? It's like, okay, there's this one thing, it's called the one sheet that we do in the other mastermind, and it talks a lot about net income, like liabilities, assets, what is your net income? Like, okay, where are you at? Oh, if I knew that you are underwater on your house, or not know that, then I can help you better. Oh, well, actually, my brother-in-law is a lender who gets super low rates. I can hook you up with him.
I know you're underwater in your house, I will not recommend that you buy the speedboat.
Right. Or yes, or something like that. Or I will not be like, man, I see you like posting these things where you're going on vacation and stuff like that. Can we talk about that? Because there's an incongruency there, right? So first of all, you got to be willing and open to say, yep, here's all my shit kind of thing. Or sometimes it's not that. Like the other guy that's sharing all the wins, he's like, okay, all those wins, man, I didn't know that you were in that business. I can help you and send referrals your way so you can even have more wins, right? So basically, the more we talk about, the more we share, the more we're open about things, it is allowing other people to help us.
Yeah, absolutely.
To help,
and
to
that's
grow.
One of the things, again, we talked about this actually in our group, I think it was last week or this, like our last call, was that one of the women has been through a terrible situation where she was in an abusive relationship. And she said, if I could go back and do it again, if I had to go back and do it again, I would. And she literally said, tell people, tell people, tell people, tell people. Do not keep it quiet, because if no one knows that your husband is cheating on you and that you're working through this really traumatic situation, and that's a huge amount of stress. If no one in your life knows that, they're not going to think about, oh, maybe I shouldn't have Tammy host Thanksgiving this year because her husband's cheating on her and they're trying to work through that. But if they have that in their awareness, they go, oh, whoa, that's too much to throw onto Tammy, to ask her to do that.
Why Tammy?
Why not Tammy? Tammys are real. So I know many Tammys. So that is I think the real importance there is that if people around you don't know what you're actually going through, they can't help you. They can't help you. So like, I don't know, there's lots to say about that, but there's accountability that happens in that. There's a safety net that you begin to build. And I don't want you to think that the fear of telling someone your secret is more important than the safety net that telling that secret will provide. Now, again, you have to tell someone that you trust, someone who won't just go blab about it, all of that stuff. So you have to know that you've got pretty rock solid people around you. But keeping it to yourself can be dangerous. Keeping it to, and even I say dangerous, like in some cases it actually can be deadly, but also it's dangerous to your health and well-being, your wellness. Like it brings stress, it brings anxiety to try to manage. Like, I can't make it look like Seth is cheating on me. I can't make it appear like that because I got to keep up appearances. And like that is crushing. That is a crushing weight, right? Anyway, I think this has been a really awesome episode. I hope that this question has been helpful for you guys. Thank you for sending it in. I hope that our answers have been supplemental in knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Again, go to go to betterhelp.com/us to get hooked up with a counselor. Also, as we have piqued your interest in these groups, go to badasshusband.com and also anatomyofus.com/women's group coaching. Thank you so much. Share the show, rate and review the show. It helps us get up, and we are striving to be the #1 non-bullshit podcast out there for marriages, and we're going to get there. So,
what did you say that Joe Rogan says? Pay the price or something? Pay the
Andy Priscilla. It's like,
Andy Priscilla.
Pay the fee. So share the show, pay the fee. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Anatomy of Us. This podcast is produced by my mom, Melanie Studley, and hosted by my dad, Seth Studley. Our show is edited and published by our producer, Reva Hansen, from Creative Media Support. Special thanks to our Patreon members that get an extra episode every week. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.